All right, it is Tuesday, June 7th. We are in the middle of the Guild Wars 2 morning stream on the EU servers, and they just released some patch notes. They also completely botched up the editing on the forum, and currently the patch notes are unreadable in dark mode at this moment in time. Hopefully it gets fixed by the time you all see it. So we have to use this. Dragon Bash. It's time for Dragon Bash. It wouldn't be a proper celebration without your attendance. Join me in Holbrack for another moot for the ages. There will be tests of strength racing food song and most importantly, ale. I'll see you there, unless of course you don't enjoy fun. Signed, Nut. White Bear. For those of you who might be new to Dragon Bash, if you don't already know, I have already done a guide in the past for Dragon Bash, so get to the point, Dragon Bash is available on the website. I'll have a link to it in the description down below if you require that. That is a thing that exists. Moving on. Join the celebration in Holbrack. Celebrate Tyria's resistance against the Elder Dragons while engaging in a variety of festive games. A Dragon Arena, show off your dragon fighting prowess against lifelike holograms in the Dragon Arena, or tackle a more difficult challenge in the Dragon Arena Survival. Hologram Stampede, the fighting continues in the Hologram Stampede, a map-wide scramble to clear the Holbrack countryside of deadly enemies. That occurs in various different zones, like you'll run to like Lornar's Crossing and stuff like that, but it'll tell you where to go if you want to participate. Pinata Bashing, master the tradition of destroying dragon pinatas in the Pinata Bashing adventure. Dragon Bash Rally, speed around Holbrack in a mounted race, the Dragon Bash Rally. Moa Race, takes famous racing Moas return in a Moa Race achievement. Put your Zytaffy on the line and cheer on the winner. Note, you don't ride the Moas. There was an instance last year where a Norn broke the back of a poor Moa. Do not try to ride them. You just bet on them and let them do their own thing. Eyes only. The Festival Meta Achievement Annual Dragon Bash Feats has been updated with a new reward, the holographic Dragon Greaves. Ooh, piece of candy. Let's try to find it. Okay, found them. Took me a minute. All right. Oh, those are pretty snazzy. Are they all the same? Medium, light. Yes, it looks like they're all the same. Those look pretty nice. I like it. I do. Well, that's what they look like on Asura. I'm not sure about the rest of you, but that's what they look like on Asura. They're chunky boots. I love when the small character has like the oversized boots and gloves, like Sonic the Hedgehog. It's charming. Also gigantic wizard hats. Okay. Last year's reward, the holographic dragon gloves, can now be purchased from the Dragon Bash merchant. Prizes. A new Dragon Bone weapon set is now available. You'll receive your choice of weapons by progressing the Dragon Bash Feats meta achievement, and you can rarely find additional tradable weapons in Dragon coffers available from a new daily achievement. All right, so I have done a search for Dragon Bone weaponry in the account vault wardrobe storage, and I found these. This is the sword, the hammer, longbow, short bow, axe, dagger, great sword. Oh, that is made of spooky. That is made of spooky. Mace, pistol, rifle, scepter, just a big knife on a stick, staff, focus. Oh my lord. Yo, that's reminds me of the Blade Fist clan from Warcraft. That's a focus? Okay. Torch, Warhorn. Dragon's like now Kith. And shield. That is the shield. All right, imagine like holding up to block and an arrow goes right through that little hole, gets you right in the eye. Your last words are like, oh, come on. All right, so that is the Dragon Bone weaponry. A new weekly achievement, Dragon Bash Festivities, is now available. Participate in various festival activities to earn progress and get weekly rewards. 3 new weapons are now available as rare drops from Dragon coffers. They can also be purchased from Sparkling Stone, a Dragon Bash weapons vendor in Holbrack. So I'm at Sparkling Stone. We have got the following items. Summerlight, Spring Warmth, and Journey's Call. I feel like I've seen these before. Drake Talon Cleaver, Drake Talon Culverin, and Drake Talon Partisan are all on this merchant. The Partisan is actually a staff, despite the fact that a Partisan... You would think this is a spear. That is a staff. Okay. New rewards have been added to the Dragon Bash rewards vendor, including 2 miniatures. New guild decorations have been added to let you give your guild hall additional holographic flavor. A new set of holographic racing track decorations. Oh, the Roller Beetle people really like that. Including projectors for checkpoints and power-ups. The party rages for 3... Dude, power-ups? They're gonna make this into Mario Kart. The party rages for 3 weeks from June 7th until June 28th at noon Pacific time UTC-7. Get bashing. Festive fixes. Updated the hologram Stampede to relax the participation required for rewards when many players are fighting a single generator's holograms. Added a few extra pinatas to Holbrack so that determined adventurers can get the daily bonus Zytaffy in a single trip. Living World. Iceberg Saga episode daily achievement categories have been combined into a single category that rotates through all of the episodes. Okay, that will make it a bit easier to see that stuff. General. Fixed a bug that prevented Aurene from appearing in Eye of the North for players during the Champions episode of the Iceberg Saga. I had that happen one time, but Reload fixed it. Updated My Trend's appearance on the Aetherblade Retreat loading screen. Cats associated with 2022 Extra Life charity donation incentives have appeared across Tyria, visible to players only while they are under the effects of the Chatoyant Elixir or the Chatoyant Lens. The Fragment of Prismatic Shadows steps up to the Aurene's Facet of Shadows collection, can now be completed by defeating the Risen High Warlord or successfully holding the gates of Ara. Okay, for those that don't know about this, if you were working on doing the Zhaitan themed Gen 3 legendaries, there was a step where you had to beat the Risen High Warlord. And I believe you only had to fight that, you had to fail the prerequisite event for it to spawn. And so as a result, there was hordes of people there screaming at other people who were there that were just trying to do the meta. Maybe they were new to the game and they were just trying to play, and other people are like, fail the event! And they were all about to come to blows. They were about to kill one another. And it's honestly because that was designed very poorly. And unfortunately, this is not the first time they've used the Risen High Wizard in this way. There has been times in the past that he's been a requirement for stuff, and this same thing happened. So, like, honestly, I'd be like, ah, shoot, okay, they didn't foresee this, but this is like the second or third time this has happened. It is very good that they're changing this. It's stupid that it keeps happening. So now you can successfully do the event to get the credit for the Generation 3 Legendary. Okay, DirectX 11. Cursor clipping now changes immediately when changing between full screen and windowed modes. Cursor clipping is now disabled when the game's window is not focused. Improves the clarity of the user interface when using non-native render resolution options. Full screen windowed mode will now take effect on the nearest monitor instead of always using the primary monitor. When switching to windowed mode, the window will now get shrunk slightly. Fixed a bug in which ground cover vegetation models, such as grass or flowers, were not responding to character presence. Fixed an issue that sometimes prevented footstep effects from rendering correctly. Special Forces Training Area. Oh, if anyone watching this doesn't know what that is, I've got a guide on like how to test and improve your DPS, which is a guide to basically the Special Forces Training Area. It is a room in the game where you can fight a dummy and give yourself any buffs you want and just go absolutely nuts on it. That is what it is talking about. The Special Forces Training Area contains a variety of valuable tools that players can use to test their strength and on their skills. Previously, this content was accessible only through the Lion's Arch Aerodrome and Arborstone, and it required the player to be in a raiding squad to enter. With this update, we're lifting these restrictions and enabling more players to utilizing the training opportunities within the area. The Special Forces Training Area is now accessible to everyone and no longer requires a raid squad. That's good. Mounts are now allowed in the Special Forces Training Area. That's good. There was like this 50-foot walk from the door to the console in the training area that was really annoying to just walk there without being allowed to use a mount, so that's nice. Added a new entrance to the Special Forces Training Area in Lion's Arch. Okay. Dungeons? Dungeons, okay. Once again, for people who might not know, dungeons in this game, I don't want to say dead content because people still do it. They might do them when leveling and then that's it, unless they just really like dungeons. So dungeons in this game as it is right now, they're 5-man content, but then Fractals came out after. Fractals were also 5-man instance content that paid 10 times as much. So everyone's like, well, if I enjoy both, why not do the one that pays better? And, you know, Fractals live and dungeons are not really used much. The only time that's not true is if you're doing a legendary or something where you need currency from a specific dungeon. For example, to get Runes of the Monk, one of the best healer runes in the game, you need a currency from one of the dungeons to do that. So you have to either do the dungeon or get like a currency voucher or something. So, with that said, dungeons are the first instance group content that new players can experience in Guild Wars 2, and with this update we're looking to simplify and standardize their reward structure for a more satisfying experience. A new global dungeon currency, Tales of Dungeon Delving, has been introduced. All previous dungeon currencies have been retired. Completing any dungeon will now award Tales of Dungeon Delving. Existing currencies are converted. I was like, you better not have just dusted all my stuff. Existing dungeon currencies will be converted to the new Tales of Dungeon Delving currency upon logging in. Let's take a look at my wallet here. Tales of Dungeon Delving. Tales of Dungeon Delving, there it is. Okay, so it looks like this little diamond thing. And if memory serves, here in Mistlock, there's a dungeon merchant over here. And let's see, show me stuff from Twilight Arbor. And there we go. Yep, it is using the new currency. Cool. That's very cool. All right, that makes things simple. So you can now farm any dungeon to get the stuff for whatever dungeon you want. To purchase rare armor from a dungeon merchant, players are required to complete the dungeon story mode associated with that armor. Okay. To purchase, I think that also gets you the reward track for that dungeon for like PvP and stuff like that as well. To purchase exotic armor, weapons, and legendary gifts from dungeon merchants, players are now required to complete the dungeon explorable mode associated with that item. I might now have legendaries that I no longer have the requirements to buy the stuff to make the legendaries because of this change. Because like a lot of dungeons, I basically skip them by just using vouchers, holiday vouchers, which might be available in Dragon Bash, where you basically buy the voucher and then you get you would sacrifice it to get a whole bunch of dungeon currency, but there was no requirements to buy the stuff from the vendor. Now there's requirements to buy stuff from the vendor, so that method is slightly different now. Accounts that have already completed any story mode or explorable path before this change are exempt from this requirement. The final chest awarded after completing each explorable dungeon path will now award one piece of rare equipment. Item, the Antique Dragon's Drape can now be infused. Thank God. That's cool. I have a couple of thoughts here. About the dungeons thing. So one, like dungeons for end game players, dungeons were dead content. Not for all, but for end game players, dungeons were dead content. It is good to see that they did this. That said, I don't know if this is enough. In fact, I would hazard a guess this is not enough to bring dungeons back to life. If that makes sense. Like, yeah, new players will do them, like, oh, hey, what's this? And then they'll go in and try to get a group and knock it out, stuff like that. But to bring dungeons back to life, they need to be close to their competitor, which is Fractals. And it doesn't, like, obviously, tier 100 Fractals are much more difficult than dungeons. They shouldn't compare to that in rewards. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying at least, like, lower tier Fractals should be competitive with dungeons as far as, what they reward, but this might just be step one. If this shows that they're even thinking about dungeons, they might be adding more. By the way, if you hear coughing in the background, my son is almost completely recovered from being under the weather. He's back with full energy. He's running around, but he's still got a cough, so that's what's going on. He's had some children's Tylenol earlier today, and it sounds like it's wearing off. But yeah, that's cool. Maybe this is the first of multiple changes and they're going to be adding more to it. But it's very cool to see that I'm kind of having the same feeling I had when in the EOD story there was a brief moment where Taimi goes, and I don't know where Zoja is. And I was like, they remembered Zoja exists. Like, even though they didn't present Zoja, they showed that they remembered she exists. And that was huge. That was huge to me, that they remembered that she existed. So this kind of is like, hey, dungeons, we didn't forget that dungeons exist. So yeah, there we go. Maybe Zoja's the next big threat. I don't know, we just had an Asura boss. I'd be kind of surprised if they had another one. Pale Tree Muckluck. Yeah, it's because we can't get, let me see, did they fix it on this? Theme, dark mode. Nope, it's still freaking black text on a black background. Genius. Genius! Yeah, this is why I was doing it in light mode, is because they posted like that. And for anyone who's about to be like, oh, I think it's on your end, it's not. This is their previous update notes. White text on black background. It's only with these new ones they did this, so hopefully they get that fixed soon. As far as items, the Black Lion chest is now the Mystical Dragon chest. It's still got the Jade Tech chair from before, as well as Mystical Dragon's Horn helm skin. Oh, I didn't see the back of it. That's pretty cool. Goes over the back of your head as well. Don't know how that mixes on a character with hair or not. The Black Lion statuette vendor currently has the Lunar backpack and glider combo. The Vermilion tail feather is back. Lots of people were trying to get this when it came out. This is a torch skin, and when you stow and unsheath it, a phoenix comes out of the feather. A lot of people were calling this like a caffeine-free diet, 0-calorie legendary, so that option is available to you for 60 statues. Hydra Staff is back in the shop. The Golden Talon Longbow, which is absolutely ridiculous, but there it is. Dream Walker Wings Backpack Glider Combo, Wandering Cloud Chair and Glider Combo. It looks like Noxie has been messing with my settings. And the Mini Exo Suit Mounts Pack. Which, to be clear, those are miniatures, not mounts. And I think that's everything. That's all the news we got for today. As always, links to all the sources as well as a link to the guide for Dragon Bash are in the description down below if you have need of any of those things. Happy bashing!